All right, guys. I just received these new lights. They're called the company I believe is called Aurora, and the product itself is G10. That's what they call these models. Okay, so I had already received some last year, like around November, and so far they've been working fine. To this moment, I have not seen any other LED bulbs that can clear dust caps. These are pretty much about the same size as the original bulbs. So you can see on this one that yeah, if I can get it to zoom in, that it's a bit dirty due to the fact that the past LEDs I had in here were the fan base, so my caps couldn't go back on. So the moisture has been collecting on here. Okay, so from what was left in there after I replaced them. So that's not how the bulbs are. Okay, the bulbs will look like this. They're nice and clean with nothing on them. Okay, so this one, it's a fanless design, braided lines. These are supposed to be copper. Copper lines. It has about, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 copper lines on this one, and then there's models that have only 4. Okay, so I've been running these so far and I haven't had any problems. They're really good. So I will show you just to prove it that they actually cleared the dust caps. Okay, so pretty much the way these come assembled. This one's already plugged in. I already replaced the actual bulbs on these before. Like I said, I had them on. I already have it on this side as well. So they've been on there with no problems. They've been working perfectly fine. And you can see dust cap is back on. That's your low beam, and then your high beam is this small one right here. That's your high beam. Okay, they use the H9s and H11s. So at this moment, these bulbs are direct replacements. So I wasn't able to put this H11 into the H9, so I had to get an H9 to make sure I can fit it into this one, the high beam. Okay, so this was the one I was gonna put into the high beam, but unfortunately it did not clear. Okay, so these are H11s, and I'm gonna need a specific H9 bulb for it to fit in there. Okay, so this one's the low beam. It uses an H11, and I'll actually describe why they look different. Okay, so one thing to notice here is, besides just having 6 braids and the other one only having 4, is that this is all made out of copper. The whole base is copper. Okay, these are adjustable as well. You can see the little they use an Allen wrench. You put it into there and you can loosen those up, and they'll allow you to spin this. Okay, so you can adjust the color on these. So there's about 3, I believe it is. There's one over here, one over here, and one right there. Okay, so you can loosen those up, and then you can spin this. You can spin it. Once you get the desired orientation, you can lock them back in, and you're good to go. So this one's already set up to where it's supposed to go, so I'm not even gonna mess with that. Let's see, I should clean this, but for now I'll just leave it the way it is. So other than that, let me install this. These are 2 pieces, meaning that I'll show you on this one, since this one's already outside. Is that you have your connection that will adapt to this, which is your driver, and then your plug to your harness. Okay, so you want to make sure on these, when connecting, you can see here that there's a little arrow. Okay, you want to make sure those line up when connecting, and then tighten this up to make a seal. Okay, there is a O-ring in here that will keep moisture from going to the connection. Normally I don't really like these, but since it's all going to be inside the headlight itself, then it shouldn't really matter. So let me quickly unscrew that to show you. Okay, so there you go. That's your O-ring in there. Make sure it's tightly sealed in there, and then pretty much just slide this over it and start screwing it in. Okay, don't need to screw too hard or tighten too hard, because you don't want to strip that. Okay, once you feel like it can't go no more, that's all there is. Okay, so also one of the problems with some of the LEDs in the market right now is that the cable tends to stick out either up or down, left, right, diagonal, wherever it is that's facing it, and it can impede or not impede, like where I don't even know if that's a word or not, but it'll keep it from going to some housings due to hitting the outer rims of the hole where it goes into. So with this sticking out right from the behind, it shouldn't happen that, okay? It shouldn't cost you that problem. This one should just go in and the cable should not get in the way. These that have the 4 braids are actually aluminum bodies, so you can tell by the color. But the piece inside where the chips are actually installed, they are, see if I can drop the light, there you go, those will be copper. Okay, so where this is seated, it's going to be copper. So that's how that is. Okay, pretty much the description for these is that they should be producing about 6,000 lumens. I have not tested them, run them down the machine yet, but I have compared them to my last fit bulbs I used to have, and they're almost the same. The only difference is that the last fit bulbs I had were 7600 lumens, and they will project a bit further. But if you just install them and compare them next to each other, there's almost no difference. Okay, it's just gonna be one is gonna shoot a little bit further than this one. Okay, but other than that, they're working perfectly fine. Okay, so now that this one's already plugged in, it's recommended to spread these to allow better cooling. And it's gonna go in here. Okay, that's your low beam. I'll remove the cap. That's your wire right here, the sticking out. Right, it's already connected. Okay, these are polarity protected, so make sure they match the plus sign with the positive cable, the negative sign with the negative cable. So make sure you get that right. If you connect it the opposite way, it will not light up. Okay, so make sure you get them in the correct way. Luckily for this vehicle, they're color coded, so it's easy to tell which one's which. On some vehicles, you'll actually have 2 black cables, and that one you kind of like have to test it out and find out which one it is. But this one's in already, it's connected. And what I recommend is before you put it in, since this does have a little bit of length of cable, I recommend putting everything inside first, tucking it in, and then installing your bulb. Okay. So let me install that because I need both my hands, and then I'll show you. All right, guys. So the bulb is in, as you can see, and just like any 2-sided LED, you want to make sure you have those at a 9 and 3 o'clock position so it projects correctly. Okay, so I found it easiest to make sure to, when you install these, to hold all the braids like this, and like that'll give you a grip and also allow you to spin it more easier. Okay, the little rubber ring, the O-rings, are a bit loose, so they will tend to move a lot. So make sure before you install it, make sure that they're in the correct place before installing. Okay, once it's in, it shouldn't move anymore. So on this one, when I pulled it, it must have got caught here and it made it come off, so it wasn't going in. So once I put it back into its groove, everything's fine. So there it is. I wouldn't really recommend messing with this while it's like this installed. You don't want to put your Allen key there and loosen that. For the reason why is that when you spin it, there might not be enough room to actually play with this to try to like tighten that or spin it off or whatever. So it'll be like all over the place. So what I recommend is, if you are trying to find the correct orientation, is loosen it outside, but not completely, to a point where you can start sliding the actual bulb unit itself, and then put it in. Because if you have it too loose, when you try to spin it, only the bulb will spin and not this. So you want to make sure it's tight enough where you can spin it, and loose enough to where you can move this. Okay, so once you move it, locate the actual correct orientation. If you can, try to tighten it. If you can't, just I would get like a marker or something, mark it where you want to keep it at, so like that when you take it out, you know where it's going to line up to. So I will mark the ring and mark the bulb itself too. So you can see there's like a little indentation right here, so I will mark it to that, and pretty much you're good to go. Okay, All right, as you can see, that's how they look. Pretty good. Good light pattern. There's a little bit of scattering, but that could also be just my headlights from usage. It's just wearing out, and you can see little scratches and stuff like that. But other than that, there's a nice cutoff line, and it replicates the same light as your original bulbs. So let's see, that's how they look. I had the timer on, so let me light up that one more time. Okay, there you go. Cool. So this is gonna shut off in a bit because it has the timer, but that's how they look. And now at this point, since you already got it working, just start tucking all your braids inside. Okay, so let me speed this up real quick. Okay, so all the braids are in, as you can see. And there you go. So let's see. There you go. No problems whatsoever. And that's pretty much it. No cutting, no nothing needed here. If you wanted to, really, just for peace of mind, you could make some holes in these, some small holes, just to allow some air to circulate. But honestly, I've had them now since last year in November, and I haven't had any problems. As you can see, I've been using them with no problem. I've been on long trips and having them on for more than 2-3 hours, and no problem so far. So let me light them up one more time for you and check it out. Okay, alright guys, so just to show a quick demonstration of how bright these are. There we go. And these so far have not caused me any problems. Like I said, no one has flipped me off. No one has said anything to me about being too bright or blinding oncoming traffic. They're pretty bright. They're useful. And best of all, especially right now in California, if you're in SoCal, exactly, we've been having strange weather. Like one moment it's raining, one moment sunny, and back and forth. And I started noticing that with my other lights. Before, I never had this problem of having any condensation or anything like that. But as you see now, there's been condensation in there. It has dried up. It's covered up the bulbs because it's from the heat. When they get warm, it evaporates that water, and it's been collecting on the bulbs. So far, even with that, no problem. They're waterproof, and everything's working fine. So if you guys are interested, let me know. I want to thank everyone who's been supporting me, who's been watching my videos. So far, I only uploaded one. I know I have a couple more that I promised I will upload. I'm still getting to those. It's just work right now has been keeping me very busy. But to support and continue to show more lights, I'm starting to carry some of these lights, so like that I can sell them to public, and like that fund my next videos, fund my next projects I want to work on. So if you guys are interested in trying out these bulbs, please let me know, leave me a message, contact me, and I can get you a set of these. Okay, so if anything, please let me know. I'll help you out. I hope to get those H9s for my high beams to test to see if they'll work with daytime running lights, because at this moment I haven't seen any LEDs that will work with daytime running lights. The reason why, a lot of the bulbs will start from 8 volts to 12 or 24, depending for what type of vehicle you're looking for. So far I did a test not long ago on a Mazda, and I noticed that for daytime running lights, they'll only work on bulbs that can handle 6 voltage. So that's a lot of voltage loss there. So they run on almost half of what the normal bulbs do. So that's why they don't activate. So on these ones, at least I confirmed, and they told me that they will only work on 12 volt vehicles. So anything below that, it might have problems. So I was hoping I can try out those H11s on the H9s and see if they'll work on these. But unfortunately they don't fit, so I need to get H9s, and that's not their fault. They've actually told me that these are vehicle specific, so that's me just trying to be hopeful and hoping that it was universal like other H11s I've seen. But other than that, I'm still happy with these. I'll just get those replaced or probably put them into the fog lights, since the fog lights are H11s. But at this moment, I just want to show you guys this quick update. I've had them since last year, like I said, since November, and they've been working perfectly fine. These come with 2-year warranty, so if any problems, I'm covered. So again, if you guys have any questions about these bulbs or interested in purchasing some to help me fund future videos and projects, please let me know and I'll help you out with that. Okay, thank you.